Hey, Craig, my man, it's so nice to have you on the show today. How are you doing?
Doing very well, Elisha. Delighted to be here.
Beautiful. Thank you so very much for being here. You see, I truly appreciate it. And oftentimes, Craig, I love to thank my guests for two things, you see, and I do this so often to the point where it has become an anthem. So, firstly, Craig, my man, I want to say thank you so very much for investing in yourself. You see, you are on this platform right now, right here, because you invested in yourself. And oftentimes, I love to make reference to the amazing mango tree. You see, Greg, some months back, I was on a particular road, and just by the roadside, there was this tall, unattractive mango tree. And I use the word unattractive because the mango tree's got no mangoes on it, and the leaves were all dry. So I just walked past it and I went my way. But you see, Craig, just recently, I was on that same road, and this time around, a lot's changed about the mango tree, you see. The mango tree caught my attention pretty good from a distance, and immediately I got the urge to move so close to it, of which I did, and it wowed me. Because now the mango tree's got beautiful mangoes on it, beautiful green leaves and healthy branches, and not just mangoes now, but very ripe mangoes. It was such a lovely experience for me that day. I was so excited, as though I won the lottery. But here's my point. You see, the fact that you dedicated your time, energy, and resources to becoming the amazing Craig that you are today, that alone has made it really impossible for me to skip you. And that's why you see you got the request from me to be on the show, because I was attracted to the fruit of all that you're doing, your work, your insight, your philosophies, and the impact your solution is having. It's amazing. And just before you got the request from me, I said to myself, I've got to benefit from these beautiful things Craig is doing. Not only me now, but even the audience. And here we had a day with the amazing Craig. So thank you so very much for doing that to yourself. And secondly, thank you for saying yes to the invite. Because if you had said nope, there was nothing Elisha could do about it. Thank you so very much. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Elisha. It's a delight to be here. I appreciate you inviting me.
Beautiful, beautiful. So let's get started. You see, I'm quite excited to have you on the show today, Craig, for two reasons. Firstly, my interest in knowledge seeking. I believe in order for one to transition from a terrible situation to that of a beautiful one, Craig, I believe it takes the application of knowledge, quality information, and not just knowledge now, but the application of it. And you see, Craig, ever since I discovered that light in the Hebrew means knowledge and darkness means ignorance, I've been so keen to knowledge seeking because I do not want to remain in the dark. So that's going to make our conversation today very important to me and even to the listeners. The second reason why I'm excited to have the amazing Craig on the show is for the sake of the audience. I say, Craig, we live in an age where information is as abundant as grains of sand. We've got lots of information flying out there. So those folks trust me for quality, eye-opening, and very important information, of which I am totally convinced that our conversation is going to be insightful and impactful. So for that reason, Craig, my man, let's get started with your introduction. Talk to us about your personal or professional journey, because right now we are just so curious. We want to know how Craig got here. Then afterwards, I've gotten some beautiful questions for you. Okay, Craig, over to you.
Yeah, so I I grew up in Maryland, and nobody ever accused me of being a great student. I was such a bad student that I ended up going in the Marine Corps because it didn't make sense to go to college. And that was a really transformative time for me. I had a blast in the Marine Corps, and it met great people, really helped shape me, and it. And I'll be honest, it was instrumental in me learning how to walk again about 3.5 years ago. I was in a 6-week coma, and learning how to walk and just recovering from that was tough. And I credit the Marine Corps for giving me the mindset to go through it. But got out of the Marines, ended up getting a couple degrees in engineering, and did well, but wasn't happy. And I decided to move over into marketing. And I marketed semiconductors for mobile phones for about a decade. And then for the last 15 years, I've been helping other folks with their marketing.
That's amazing. You used one of my favorite words, help. You've been helping other folks with their marketing. That's a beautiful word. And you're such a great survivor, I tell you. And thank you for sharing that with us. So let's begin first with the marketing aspect. All right. So how do one create an environment where people wants to buy?
Yeah. So the origin of that is I'm really not very good at sales. And it reached a point of desperation where I had to sell. I had to figure it out. And so it hit me. I was like, well, if I can't sell, let me instead create an environment where people want to buy. And I think that's a better environment in general. And if you think about businesses like Disney doesn't have to sell. They just created a lot of demand. They created the environment where people want to buy. They want to go there. They want to go back. And so that was the thing that hit me, and it led to the development of something called a first time offer, which is a low ticket front end offer that you sell, and it naturally leads to your high ticket core offer. And what happens when you structure it correctly, you actually immediately start working to solve problems for people. And in that process, they realize that you work well together, that you solve problems they've been unable to solve on their own. And it feels good and they want to do it more. And so all of a sudden the conversation becomes, hey, this has been great. What's next?
Beautiful, I got that. So you mentioned first time offer. What's the difference between a first time offer and a loss leader?
You could argue that a first time offer is a little bit of a loss leader. Normally when they think of loss leaders, 15, 20 years ago, Black Friday sales were really popular, and they would sell something super cheap just to get you in the store to buy that one thing. And while you were there, they were hoping you would buy something else. And so, a loss leader is a little bit of a distraction. It's not on the main path of the purchase. It's a distraction to get you in the vicinity of the purchase. First time offer is actually putting you on the path. And so one of the elements of an effective first time offer is it has a minimum of 4 and a maximum of 5 deliverables. And those 4 or 5 deliverables represent 4 or 5 milestones that move them 4 or 5 steps closer from where they are to where they want to be. So instead of it being a distraction from the path, it puts them on the path.
You put them on the path. Wow. I never knew that. You see, that's one of the benefits of seeking out knowledge and learning from folks. Now I'm learning new stuff here. Thank you. Okay, but I'm still a bit curious, all right. How therefore can one grow sales in a slow economy? Do you have any tips or insight?
Yeah, so when the economy's slow, people make slower decisions. They're more cautious in how they make decisions. And so the thing that holds people back. So let me give myself as an example. Because as I developed this for my business, and then I realized it was applicable to other businesses. People need growth. They need growth. And so they need our services. We help businesses grow their businesses. But everybody that I meet has a bad marketing story in their past. They've had a bad marketing experience. And so they're a little bit more cautious. And when they see things look good, but they're a little bit cautious. And if the economy's slow, they tend to hoard cash rather than spend cash. And so first time offer, because it gets them on that path, it moves them down that path. It moves them 4 or 5 steps closer to their goal from where they presently are. at a price that's just hard to say no to, all of a sudden, um, it moves them from inaction to action.
From inaction to action all of a sudden. I got that. Okay, for people, for entrepreneurs or sellers who they've got this worst sales. So how can they convert their worst sales people into master closers? You get that?
Yeah. So there are some salespeople that probably shouldn't be in sales. They should probably be moving on to the next thing in life. But there are other salespeople. I find a lot of people want to, they don't like some of the pressure tactics of sales. And one of the sayings we have is combine a sales process that anybody can learn with an offer that nobody can refuse. And that's where magical things start happening. The sales process that anybody can learn, the ones that we find work the best are not pressure tactics. They're not manipulative. It's really looking to help people. And so people who are often bad at sales, they don't like the pressure tactics. They don't like, being, just being that pushy person. But I want to be clear, there's some people in sales that I think probably shouldn't be. But often some of those have really good sales numbers or better than average sales numbers, but they're toxic to the organization, and they're not good. They bully the customers, they manipulate the customers, and they do it for sport. And I would say that those are the worst salespeople.
That's right, and I totally agree. I totally agree. Okay, we still have some questions here. So, how hard is it to build an effective first-time offer?
They look easy. They look simple. And it's funny, people come to me all the time and they say, Craig, I've read your book and I put together an offer and I want you to show it to me. And it reminds me of this little drawing that my granddaughter did for me. And for those that are listening, I'm holding up something that clearly a child drew, and they just took their crayon and spread a bunch of color on it. With my granddaughter, when she brings that to me, it's like, oh, that's beautiful, that's gorgeous. But I often feel like I'm in the same situation when somebody brings their first time offer to me. I see the flaws because I've made many of those mistakes myself. And it's hard. They look easy. But what I found is, even with the book, Make Sales Magical, that shows how to build them, I found that very few people can put them together well. And when we do it for somebody, it actually takes us a full day to get the basic structure of the offer.
Awesome, I got that. Okay, so can you talk to us more about your book?
Yeah, so I've got two books. One is Make Sales Magical. It's not a sales book, it's a marketing book, because when the marketing is done right, the sales are magical. And it's a guidebook on why you should build first-time offers and how you should build first-time offers. And it goes into great detail. And of course, as time goes on, let's say I published that about a year and a half ago. There's some things I've learned since then that we incorporate into those. But for the most part, that book is exactly what we do when we're helping somebody build an offer.
Awesome. Thank you so very much for creating that solution. Because I tell you, a lot of folks need that book. I tell you, it's a very important one. Okay, so lastly, what would you say to someone who has seen a slowdown in sales?
That hits everybody at some point, and I think you have to go back and you have to look at what's the cause, where are things breaking down, and at some point you probably need some more leads. and you need more of those leads booked into calls, and you need to do this. But especially right now, a lot of people are cautious again. Last couple of years, people have been cautious, and they're still cautious again. And I would say, look at a first-time offer to see if it makes sense in your business. It may be the thing to start getting some momentum. And one of the things it does for your salespeople, and it does for yourself if you sell, is it's easy to sell these first-time offers, and that's a little bit of a confidence boost when you can do that.
I got that. So finally, Craig, what would you like to leave the audience with, like a final thought? And to those folks who would like to learn more about everything we've discussed, they got really inspired, enlightened, and would love to make a purchase of your book, how can that be possible?
So they can find their book on Amazon. Just search on that. I actually have a second book called Hope That Won't Die. It's about it was co-authored with my wife, and it was about surviving COVID. I was in the hospital and predicted to die. That's also available on Amazon. And folks want to reach out directly to me, they can come to my website, which is alliesforme.com. That's spelled ALLIES, the number 4, ME.com. And I'm also on LinkedIn, very easy to find on LinkedIn. So there's multiple ways to reach me.
Beautiful. So any final thoughts?
No, I would just say if you feel held hostage by your sales team, you got a problem that you need to fix. And you have a real vulnerability in your business. And so this is where I would say combine it, develop a sales process anybody can learn, and combine it with an offer that nobody can refuse. And if you're doing sales and you just feel a little bit stuck, I would say explore first-time offers, especially for high-ticket sales. It may be the thing that you've been missing.
That you've been missing. I got that. So that's going to be the end of the show, Craig. Thank you for coming, and thank you for sharing these beautiful stuff with us. It means a whole lot, my man. Thank you.
Thank you, Elisha.